What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and welcome back to Top 5 Tuesday, a weekly series where we count down the top 5 characters, teams, and concepts from across the comic book industry. And this week, we're counting down my top 5 favorite versions of The Flash. Number 5. Max Mercury. First appearing in 1940 with National Comics number 5 as part of the superhero renaissance of the Golden Age, Max Mercury was ambiguous at best except to say that he had super speed. However, under Mark Waid's legendary Wally West run, Max Mercury's background was fully fleshed out in the 1995 story Terminal Velocity. Originally hailing from the 1830s as a member of the US Cavalry, Max Mercury was blessed by a local shaman after his tribe was wiped out. Granting Max the ability to move at superhuman speeds, from that point forward, he was simply referred to as the Wind Runner. Constantly trying to make contact and enter the Speed Force, the source of energy and afterlife for all the speedsters, Max Mercury's attempts initially sent him into the future each time he tried to enter the Speed Force. His first trip sent him to the 1890s, where he became the hero Whip Whirlwind, and his second attempt landed him in the 1930s and the 1940s, where he served as a teacher for the Golden Age Flash, Jay Garrick, meaning that within the comic books, Max Mercury was the first Flash. While he's not able to run as fast as everyone else, he is able to perform acrobatic feats on a level greater than the other members of the Flash family. Number 4. EOBARD THAWNE. While he's not technically a member of the Flash family, I can't think of anybody who would make any kind of a list about the Flash and not include EOBARD THAWNE. Known better under his alias Professor Zoom, EOBARD's first appearances in the Flash comics established him as having an obsession with Barry Allen, duplicating the experiment that gave Barry his powers and even going so far as having his face transformed to look like the iconic hero. EOBARD THAWNE's journey into the past left his mind in shambles. Discovering a museum and learning that he was destined to become the Reverse Flash, the arch-nemesis of Barry Allen, THAWNE lost his mind and in turn, stepped into the role that he was destined for. While various stories would depict him going against heroes like Wally West and the rest of the Flash family, in the 2009 story Flash Rebirth, Geoff Johns had retconned much of EOBARD THAWNE's history. Keeping his origin intact, Johns had established that EOBARD THAWNE murdered Barry Allen's mother, Nora Allen, and intentionally positioned the chemicals in a way that would guarantee Barry's transformation into the Flash, effectively creating a circular paradox. Number 3. Barry Allen. As the Silver Age Flash, Barry Allen was instrumental in helping DC to capitalize on the resurgence in superhero popularity following the end of World War II. First appearing in DC Showcase issue number 4, which served as an anthology series, exposing new readers to characters in order to test their popularity, Barry Allen was shown to have gained his powers due to being exposed to chemicals during a lightning storm. Discovering that he could move with incredible speed, Barry would go on to christen himself as the Flash. Arguably considered the most powerful version of the Flash to date, Barry Allen's history has had him involved in some of DC's most iconic events, including the formation of the Justice League in 1960, the advent of the comic book multiverse in the Flash of Two Worlds story in 1961, and the Sacrificial Lamb with the Crisis on Infinite Earths in 1985. While his character would remain absent from DC's landscape for almost 20 years, minus occasional appearances, in 2009, Barry Allen made his return with Flash Rebirth, but also served as a catalyst for the 2011 Flashpoint event, which would allow DC to consolidate all of their characters and teams, cancel low-selling titles, and reboot everything else, minus Batman and the Green Lantern, with the New 52. Number 2. Wally West. Considered by many to be the best version of the Flash, this sentiment seems to be due more to the fact that many readers grew up with Wally West, rather than the idea that Wally is inherently better than Barry. While opinions vary regarding his popularity, Wally West was initially introduced in 1959 as a nephew of Barry's love interest, Iris West. Gaining his powers in the exact same experiment that gave Barry his powers, Wally West became Kid Flash, and his journey to learn the nature of his powers was fast-tracked due to Barry functioning as his mentor. Following the Crisis on Infinite Earths event in 1985 and the death of Barry Allen, Wally West took over the signature role and was initially written by Mike Baron, who depicted him as having won the lottery, but whose life was constantly overshadowed by the memory of Barry Allen. However, under Mark Waid in 1992, Wally West was cut loose from the ties that held him to Barry and in turn became one of the most powerful versions of the Flash, even possessing powers that Barry didn't, including the ability to lend all or a portion of his super speed to others. Number 1. Jay Garrick. Maybe I'm a sucker for the originals, but to me, Jay Garrick will always be the best Flash. While he is slower than Barry Allen and his publication history isn't filled with the same achievements, my reason for selecting Jay Garrick as my favorite version of the Flash is because he's the guy who started it all. Initially appearing in Flash Comics #1 in 1940, Jay Garrick was DC's attempt to capitalize on the success of Superman and had gained his powers by falling asleep while inhaling deuterium, a chemical used in atomic weaponry. Waking up several weeks later with the power of super speed, Jay Garrick's popularity during the 1940s going into the 1950s set the stage for the popularity of Barry Allen and the Silver Age of comics. Furthermore, introducing a character who could move at a speed similar to Superman, albeit without flight, was what solidified Jay Garrick as a popular character during the Golden Age, and while his return to the DC landscape during Flash of Two Worlds following his cancellation after World War II would depict him playing second fiddle to Barry, in the end, had it not been for Jay Garrick, the Flash family as it exists now would not likely be as popular as it is, assuming that it would exist at all. With that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end and post a comment below letting me know who your favorite version of the Flash is, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.